Well, hello. Today we are here for another segment of Solving Life's Next Chapter, and I'm Sheryl Keeme with Neighbors Who Care, the Executive Director, and I'm here with
Lydia Wietzma, Next Home Elite Realty.
Great. And today we have a guest here who is one of our celebrated volunteers at Neighbors Who Care.
Yep.
This is Jodi Sornsin. Welcome, Jodi.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming on today.
Yes.
And we are doing Solving Life's Next Chapter podcast for two reasons. One, we want to provide information to the community that will help aging people age more comfortably. So we bring folks on who can talk about services that they offer or just a topic that would be helpful to someone who is planning to get older, which we all are.
We
all are planning to get older, right?
We are.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
And then the other side of what we want to accomplish with this podcast is to highlight some of our volunteers.
Yes.
Because we're just launching this now.
Yes.
And we want to show the community everyday people who help us out and the experience that they have while doing it. So thanks for joining us to talk about that today.
You're very welcome.
So how long have you been a volunteer with Neighbors Who Care?
I have been a volunteer for 2 years.
2 years.
When I retired, then I
That's
became a
right.
volunteer.
And Jodi, you live in the Sun Lakes area, right?
I do.
And unlike many people who come from Nebraska or Kansas or whatever, Jodi actually lived in the community here in Maricopa County. Where did you live before?
I lived in Tempe.
Okay.
We lived there for 34 years, and we've lived here for 5.
So you're
Okay.
almost a native.
Pretty much. I was 22 when I moved here. So,
Okay.
That's great.
came from North Dakota, so no snow.
So when you decided to volunteer, what was it? Do you remember what prompted you to do that? Did someone invite you? Did you read something?
Well, my mother got Meals on Wheels in Fargo, North
Okay.
Dakota, and that was one of the highlights of her day. And so I said, when I retire, I will repay that.
Pay it forward.
Yep.
Pay it forward, exactly. And so I went to a volunteer event, and I saw one of your volunteers there, and she signed me up.
That must have been Roseanne.
Oh.
We have a lovely volunteer. She does transportation, but she also she's a realtor also.
Yeah, yeah.
She doesn't work that full time anymore.
Right.
But she loves to do that. So she sets up tables for us and recruits volunteers.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
I don't know if it was Roseanne, but it likely was.
Yeah.
So I'm going to mention Roseanne Dennett here because I'm so happy that she does that for us. So Roseanne, thank you. So great. So you learned about us at that event and signed up. And is that what you do for us then? Is it dinner?
I do dinner delivery. Occasionally, I do appointment delivery, but that depends because my husband has Parkinson's, so I always have to worry about what he's got going on.
Right.
And I have to take him to his appointments. And so my main thing right now is dinner delivery, and I'm going to try to get more of the other.
Well, great. No.
Wonderful.
So dinner delivery, for those who don't know, Neighbors Who Care, we're not a participant in the Meals on Wheels program,
Okay.
which is a federal program.
Okay.
There is Meals on Wheels in Chandler and Gilbert and whatnot, but that's not who we are. Because of where we're located, we don't have access to federal programs.
Right.
So we have our own vendor, and the gentleman's name is Gabe, and he has a family restaurant. It's a taqueria factory.
Okay.
His father and family created that concept as a franchise. And he creates our meals under a separate business label called Friendly Neighbor Meals. Excuse me. And Gabe's produces the meals, produces a monthly menu, and then our clients, if they're qualified for meals, they prove their need for it, and Bonnie, our social worker, has approved them for it. They sign up and they choose on a day-to-day basis whether they want them, and they are produced from Monday through Friday. There's an $8 charge for each meal, and then volunteers like Jodi deliver them to our clients. And those who cannot pay for meals, we make sure they get them regardless of their ability to pay. But they're delivered to our office. This is the system we have now. The meals are delivered to our office in the afternoon, and within about 30 minutes, they're all gone.
They're out the door.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I always get there at 2:30 and
Okay.
pack them up in an order that I have discovered.
yes.
Works
Yes.
for me because I don't want to be all over the neighborhood.
Right.
And
They get
so-
all their people's names, and then
Okay.
they can plot out their little route that they want to
Awesome.
take.
How many people do you deliver to?
It's usually about 17 to 18 because I'm in the Oakwood Ironwood area.
Okay.
So we're the biggest area in Sun Lakes.
Are you is she the only, are you the only one that does it in that community?
Oh, no,
okay.
no.
So there's more
many.
than 17 people that need it
No, that would be just on one day.
on just one day. Okay.
I usually do Tuesdays
Okay.
when I do it, but there's other people that do other days.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't
gotcha.
do every day.
And
of the
our
week.
we have a dinner delivery coordinator, and she makes that schedule up
Wow.
with a couple months in advance, usually 2 months in advance, so people know when they're going to be doing
they're
it.
gonna get 'em. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you've been delivering the meals. When you deliver them, how does that work?
I sometimes do it by myself. Sometimes a friend helps me out. But we take the meal up to the door. I like to wait and give it to them rather than set it in a cooler or set it on a table.
Right.
Unless they don't come to the door, then obviously I just leave it. But I like to have that touch.
Yeah.
I love
Because
that.
some of those people, that is their only touch in the day.
Yeah.
And to me, that means a lot to them.
It does. And during COVID, we had a system where we asked each client to have a cooler right outside their door because we were
good
trying
idea.
not to have any contact.
Right.
And a lot of folks still maintain that today.
Right.
But what Jodi's saying is so true.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes that is the only human that
Right.
those people see.
Right.
And then we also, when folks become a volunteer at the orientation, I'll remind everybody about this, is that we do like to get reports back.
Right.
So if Jodi's or another volunteer is delivering a meal and they notice the person come to the door doesn't look as
Well, yeah.
just something's off,
Right.
then we ask them to give us a call and let us know, because then our social worker can reach out and just make a wellness call. Just
Yeah,
talk
see
with them.
how things are
Yeah.
going with them. Yeah,
totally.
that's actually a great idea because a lot of them may not call the doctor or
yeah.
call their family out of state
And
to say,
no one sees them.
Exactly.
you
Just
know,
see that
or if they
something's up.
come with a black eye because they fell over a chair.
Sure.
You know, you can kind of,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you been a volunteer all your life, Jodi?
I have.
What other things have you done?
I was PTA president for my kids for many years. I was a Girl Scout leader. I was a Boy Scout leader. I just did everything my kids did.
Oh, nice.
And then after that, I've done meals at Paz de Cristo for people that are
yes.
homeless.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite places, is Paz de Cristo.
I've never done that, but I've seen
I've
it.
heard, yeah.
It's very cool because you start from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
You make the food. You
Serve the food.
You clean up afterwards. And so it's very rewarding in the
Yes.
end. You're just like, wow, I just did something really great today.
Yeah.
And I helped out at least 100 people.
Right.
Fantastic.
Which to me is just
Worth it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and she's really we snatched her up
Yeah.
because I was able to see her at work.
Oh, yes.
So she was part of our pickleball and tennis event called Play It Forward.
Okay.
It's actually not ours. It's a separate group of volunteers that put this together. And Jodi was involved with the other pickleball event. What's the name of that other one?
It's called the Pickle Barrel.
Pickle Barrel.
And
Barrel.
that's in Iron Oaks. And I was actually in charge of it last year.
Okay.
So I'm the social coordinator for the pickleball club.
Okay.
And then I took this on also. And it's a 3-day event. And we had 232 players last year.
Wow. Okay.
And
So we were pretty lucky that she helped us out
yes.
with ours.
and so then I moved on to Play It Forward the next month.
Right.
And we jumped on the coattails of that other event with some of the
Right.
same sponsors.
Right.
Thanks to Jodi.
Well, and it's one of your events where you actually bring in some money to pay for some of these
It's
services.
it's a fundraiser.
Fundraiser, yeah.
And 100% of the proceeds came to Neighbors Who Care, thanks to this group of volunteers' work.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we did really, really well this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What
That
was
was so
our
exciting.
goal? Was 25,000.
Yeah.
And we raised almost $39,000.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So more services for more seniors. Really.
Exactly. And it allows us to be able to find some new people who
Yep.
may not have heard of us because they play pickleball or played tennis, became a part of us. Now they are part of our family.
Right.
And we have their information and can
Right.
communicate with them.
Yep.
So it really opened up some new people for us. And we're really
Right.
grateful for that.
Yes.
And so the next thing we did was say, Jodi, you're so good at this. You love us. You're a volunteer. Why not join our board? So she's a volunteer now, approaching a new avenue for helping
for
us out.
helping you. Yes.
And so what made you decide to want to be on the board once we told you we wanted you?
It's just in my heart. I can't really describe the whys and the hows, but it's just in my heart. Older people are.
Yes.
I've always been that way. I have a gentleman that lives across the street from me. I take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
I just have always liked older people. And so this was just a natural thing. After the kids are gone,
Right.
then you move into your next stage of life.
Yep.
And I just have that kind of a heart that I want to help people.
Yeah.
And this group is such a great group.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
You
just
sound like you
amazes
love
me.
it, and it also it keeps you young, I think, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to be very busy.
Yes.
I can't, I'm not a sitter.
Yes.
What would you say to someone who may see this or read about neighbors who care and is just a little maybe like timid about getting involved? What would you tell them about your experiences as a volunteer that may want them to step forward?
Everybody's a little timid because they really don't know what they're stepping into and
Right.
that kind of thing. And I was too. The lady that signed me up was very welcoming, which was great. Just the whole organization, you walk into their office and it's always, good morning, good afternoon, how are you doing?
Yep.
So they're very welcoming group, which to me means a lot because
Yeah.
you're appreciating that I'm there.
Yes.
It's not, you're getting the cold shoulder.
Right.
And I really want to help people
Yeah.
that need help, that cannot do it themselves. And I don't want them to go to a nursing home until
Right.
they absolutely have
Have
to. Or,
to, yep.
retirement home, however you want to refer to it.
Sure.
I like them to be in their homes. To me, that means something to them.
Yep.
Because I know how I'm going to be when I get to be that age.
Right.
That I want to do
And
that.
aging in place is the better way for them if they can stay there in a safe environment
Right.
as long as
Exactly.
possible. So,
Yes. And
yeah.
so helping them with driving, helping them with meals. I also, if they need it, they like checkbooks. And I know that that's kind of not something you do anymore, but they still do checkbooks.
Right.
Yes.
And
Right.
that's how they pay bills and that's how they do things. So that's another one of the things that I volunteer for
Okay.
to
Gotcha.
help them.
The other day, we were fortunate to have a story on Channel 15.
Yep.
And the thing I liked, I loved the whole thing. I loved it. And it really spoke about every aspect of what we do. But they featured one of our volunteers who's also on our board, and he was helping this gal out. And when he dropped her off, she just said, I'm having some trouble with my remote, my TV remote. And she just couldn't get the battery cover back on.
Right.
It was just a small thing.
Simple thing, yeah.
But a lot of times our clients will do that. If they're as an able-bodied volunteer there,
Right.
helping them, dropping them off or whatever, they might say, can you do this one little thing for
Right,
me? And
right.
so I love it that our volunteers are accommodating that
Yes.
way.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
and they'll help them reach that thing
Yes.
they can't reach.
And
or
they
something.
appreciate it because I know my mom's in her mid 80s and my husband and I will go over and do one little thing, like
Right.
like put the cover on.
It's frustrating, though, when you can't do that thing.
Exactly, and she's like so appreciative, and I'm like, oh, it's no big deal to
Yeah.
us, but to them, it's a huge thing.
It
so
is.
Well,
Well, and
yeah.
I have some health issues, so I can't lift a lot.
Right.
And my husband, being ill, can't. And so when my son and daughter come over and if I need something, they do it for me.
Right.
Yes.
I'm only in my low 60s,
Right.
but there are still things I cannot do.
Right.
So I can't imagine 20 years from now
Right.
the things I'm not going to be
I'm
able
sure
to
we're
do.
going to add something like every month as we get older.
Exactly.
I know, I feel
so
that way.
Yeah.
I get it now, and so I know what it's going to be like later,
Yeah.
and I know what these people are going through.
Yes.
It's hard.
and
is
it's
hard.
hard for some seniors to even ask for the help too.
It is. They're very prideful,
Yes.
especially this generation of
Yep.
seniors. Very
Yeah,
prideful.
I'm a little worried about our generation because we're like, oh yeah, I need this. Come on over here. I'm trying to keep us around so we're there for the
Right.
our generation. But
Yeah.
good Lord, I'm a little worried about that. Well, thank you so much for coming today
Yes.
and talking with us a little bit, Jodi.
You're very
And
welcome.
I'm looking really forward to getting to know you more when you join the board next month. And if anybody is out there is listening to this and would like to do as Jodi's doing, help
Right.
with dinner delivery or another transportation, or maybe one of the other services that we
Right.
offer, it's very easy to get onboarded as a volunteer. We like to get them in and on to volunteering very
Yes.
quickly. We
Yep.
don't sit around with those emails waiting in our
Well,
email.
you have a lot of need too.
We do.
That's the issue is volunteers. Yes, you need money to do those things, but you really need the volunteers at
That's
this point,
100%.
especially over the summer.
Especially the summer.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
gets a lot harder. That I volunteer more over the summer than I do during the winter.
Yep.
Just because there are fewer people in the
Right.
summer.
Yeah.
So when I do meal delivery,
Thank you
I
for
just
that.
tell Joan, put me down for
Add a
the
few
whole
more.
month of June.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not just one day here and one day there.
Yeah.
Because I love what I do for
Yeah.
Neighbors Who Care, and,
And
I
if-
love the organization.
And
Thank
if there
you.
were no volunteers, you wouldn't be able to get those meals to the families.
No.
Yeah.
No. So thank you again. What were you going to say?
And it's only 1 or 2 hours of your week.
It's
Yeah.
That's
just
what you have to remember. 1 or 2 hours, and you are making somebody's life better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's allowing us to continue to onboard new clients as they
they
have
need
the
it.
need
Yep.
arises. But the summer months are difficult.
Yep.
And so we are really trying to bring on as many new volunteers in May and June and July so that we can make sure that we're there to serve the people
Cover.
through the end
Yeah.
of the summer. So,
Yep.
well, thank you again, Jodi.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.
And we did it again.
Yes.
We solved life's next
Solving
chapter
Life's Next Chapter.
through our volunteering.
That's right.
Absolutely. So thanks again for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you.